Hi guys, so welcome to the first episode of German Beer Week. And last year around this time I did a week of Oktoberfest reviews. And as you can clearly see, this series is just as, if not more professional than last year's series. I mean, we've got the backdrop sorted perfectly. Got some nice avant-garde patchy artwork, got beautiful audio, the lighting is pristine, got the camera angled beautifully, so I'm sure you will agree that this is probably the most polished beer review show on YouTube. But anyway, so celebrating all things German beer. I absolutely love Germany. I love German culture. I love German cities, I love German food, I'm burping as I talk, and of course I love German beer. Doesn't matter if it's traditional macro stuff or the burgeoning craft beer scene. German brewing to me is just the finest in the world, and you get the best of both worlds. And yeah, I thought I'd celebrate all things German beer. So hopefully you'll stick along with me through this. Recording it in advance, of course, just in case I can't source 7 different beers. And this is going to cover the whole spectrum. It's going to be the very macro, there's going to be some very traditional beers, there's going to be some seasonal beers, there's going to be some craft beers like today. I've got a wealth of German beer reviews on the channel, so I'll put that playlist down below as well as any sort of related information. So without any further ado, let's get this show on the road. And what beer are we drinking today? So yeah, the first beer is of course Berliner Berg's Pale Ale, and Berliner Berg, obviously coming out of Berlin from Kopfstrasse 59. And yeah, this is a pale ale clocking in at 5.5% ABV. Best before date is the 25th of April 2019. And got this in the Beer 52 Oktoberfest box, which you will be seeing a few beers this week coming from that box. Because, hey, if anyone's bringing German craft beer to the UK, I want to promote that. So the beer's going to be coming from different sources, but there will be 2 or 3 beers specifically from the Beer 52 box which I received. So full credit to Beer 52, links are down below. But so Berliner Berg. I think the only other beer I've had from these guys was a West Coast IPA which I had in Germany, because their beers will slowly start to make their way to the supermarkets. And that's a trend that I noticed in most of the supermarkets in Germany, especially the likes of Kaufland and Real, Rewe, Edeka. There was always like a really nice little simple craft beer section, mainly the regional stuff, not gonna lie, but some really interesting beers indeed. And I think 2 or 3 of the Berliner Berg beers were appearing in my local Kaufland when I was living in Regensburg. So yeah, I'm really excited to try a pale ale. Starting off simple. So really nice artwork on this. Lovely bold yellow artwork. And then there's the lovely logo on the label on the neck of the bottle, which is a little squirrel drinking beer. And we've got a really nice crown as well. And so it's got a little bit of a blurb. I will try and read this. I'll read it in very bad German first, and then see if I can translate it with my absolutely pinpoint and pristine German language. I can't even speak English properly, so this should be fun. So,
Britisches Malz trifft US Aromahopfen. Das Resultat ein perfekt ausbalanciertes Bier, welches durch starke Aromen, malzigen Körper, sanfte Bitterkeit sowie extrem guter Trinkbarkeit besticht. Unser Berliner Berg Pale Ale, gebraut von der Berliner Berg GmbH bei der Hohentanger Schlossbrauerei.
So I think what that translates to is British malts meets US aroma hops. The result, a perfect balanced beer with which has a strong aroma, a malty body, and good bitterness. Drinkable, I think, and is the Berliner Berg Pale Ale. Terrible. I know. I'm sorry to any German language viewers watching this. I do apologise for completely butchering your beautiful language. And yeah, brewed from the Berliner Berg Brewery by the Hohentanner Schloss Brauerei. But yeah, anyway, so looking forward to giving this a try. So without any further ado, let's get the bottle popped right on the floor. And we're using my Regensburger Spital glass because we've got to keep it all German. So anyway, let's see what we get with this one. And pouring that way too stupidly, so there's probably going to be a bit of a bigger head than I wanted it to have. So, beer in the glass then, and that is, you can't see that at all due to this beautiful lighting. There we go, if I hold it up there it's a little bit better. And yeah, sort of like slightly golden, a little bit of that amber hue coming through. Very subtle haziness, it's definitely an unfiltered beer. Nice carbonation, as you can probably not hear. But yeah, so that poured with about one finger's worth of a white head. Yeah, it's somewhat pale, but not too pale. But yeah, it looks really nice and pretty, doesn't it, in this little 250ml glass. So we shall see what we get on the nose. Loads of citrus fruits in there. Very subtle tropical tones. It's got that sort of like starburst sort of aroma to it, or chewits. A little bit of a slightly sweet herbal tone coming through, like maybe a little bit of a basil or a fresh mint. But yeah, you're getting loads of grapefruit on this one, more of like the pink sort of softer grapefruit. A little bit of orange. Some subtle stone fruit character, maybe even a little bit of a berry in there as well. But yeah, it is predominantly sort of a citrusy sort of IPA. I mean, it's not the most aromatic or in your face, but what is there is smelling really, really nice actually. So yeah, without any further ado, let's give it a taste. Prost. Ooh. It's actually a little bit hoppier than I expected it to be. And I'm actually getting quite a big amount of peach in there. You've got a little bit of a mango puree sort of vibe. There's almost like a subtle bit of heat in there. Almost like a white peppery vibe going on as well. So a little bit of like a slightly hot mango chutney. But lovely, lovely bitterness on this beer. It's got a really welcome bitterness on the back end. Or pale ale, I should say. So anyway, let's pour the rest in. See if it changes the beer. You know what? It's actually clouded up a little bit more, not too much. Lovely looking beer, really, really is. You do definitely get that sort of like British, earthy yet sweet malt character coming through. But then that citrusy edge comes through. Those hops were really, really nice. And then that bitterness on the back end is probably my favourite part of this beer. That's a really, really solidly brewed pale ale. You know, I could imagine that this is like an easily available sort of craft beer in some parts of Germany, especially in Berlin, which is like a craft beer mecca, which I can't believe for the 7 years that I was going to and from Germany and the 4 years that I was actually living in Germany, never made a day trip to Berlin, even though there are people there who would happily put me up for the weekend, who would show me a good time and show me some damn good beer. So I'm hoping to rectify that. And you know what? in a day, like in the, let's say in the Kreuzberg district, something like that, sat outside, just chilling, this is one of those beers. Is it going to blow you away? No, not really. But it has character. It's not just a generic pale ale. There's like this very subtle, almost like stem ginger heat coming from it, which is really, really nice. And it's beautifully balanced as well. And as I said, that hoppy bitterness on the back end is so nice and refreshing. Dries your mouth out a little bit as well, so you want to go in for another sip. And I tell you what, you could chill this down and it'd just be such a Moorish beer. It really, really is. It's the sort of beer that is simple enough that you can buy a 6-pack, you can have a barbecue, you can have a pizza, you can have your friends round, whatever, you can socialise. But at the same time, there's enough there in the beer so you can pick out some distinct flavours. And it's just a simple, honest pale ale. And I applaud it for that. I really, really do. It's nice to have something like this, because it is making me take a little bit of a step back and reminiscing of some of the great simple pale ales that I've had, especially from Germany, from the likes of Camber Bavaria, the stuff that Spital is doing in the Manufaktur range. Who else have we got? We've got Schönrahme, make a really good simple pale ale. Hanscraft & Co, BRLO. There are so many great German breweries, and I've only tried the tiniest tip of the iceberg, even with my time in Germany. That this still can excite me, and so that's another lovely little beer from Berliner Berg. Highly recommended if you can get hold of it. If you're in Berlin, look for these as well. I'm sure you'll find beers galore in Berlin. Really, really need to have a trip there. So if any breweries want to do a collaboration with a superstar of my calibre, then at your own expense, I will happily come to Berlin and we can brew a nice citrusy IPA, because that's what I would love to brew. Anyway, in all seriousness, this is a lovely IPA indeed. Off to a really good start with German Beer Week, and I'm sure it will get a little bit better as the videos progress. Who knows? It might get worse. You never know. It's the clueless shrinker. Need I say any more? Why do I still do it? I'm sort of in a really stupid way bigging myself up when I have really no right to do so at all. But so my rating then on Berliner Berg's Pale Ale, I'm going to give that a very simple 7 out of 10. I'd happily demolish a 6-pack of this beer, knock it back, not think about it too much, and at 5.5% you could just demolish a 6-pack. Anyway, so if you've tried it, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. If you've tried anything else from Berliner Berg, then your thoughts and recommendations, always appreciated. If you know of any good outlets in the UK that stocks really good German craft beer, then hit me up in the comments, because I want to try as much as I can, because I'm not going to be able to get to Germany as often as I'd like to, and when I'm there, I'm just give me all the traditional stuff, because I just love a good, honest Helles beer. And it's really exciting to know and experience that Germany has a really, really thriving, up-and-coming and fresh, young craft beer scene. And even some of the big boys and some of the more traditional breweries are getting in on that action as well. And I think that's absolutely wonderful. I think we need more of that. And more importantly, we need more of this beer here in the UK. So big, 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 big props to Beer 52 for producing this box of beer as part of their Oktoberfest range. By the time you see it, it'll be a different box that's come out, but I'll put their links down below, because highly recommended. If anyone can provide me with good German beer, I'm going to give them a shout out whenever I possibly can. But check out Berliner Berg, check out my German beer playlist, and hopefully you'll join me tomorrow for another exciting German beer. Anyway, I've waffled on for way too long. The video is going to be a really horrible one because I can already tell the quality is going to be really low. But hey, at least I've got a nice intro and a nice outro, and I look very fat today. Thank you for watching, and I'll hopefully see you all later. Cheers!